You know?
You pick a muscle that needs to come up. I dare you.
Yeah, tell me what's lacking.
The idea would be in your prep would be to wear clothes that covered you up. We didn't show off every workout.
Yeah, purposely avoiding positive because we didn't want it to make us soft.
Oh, man. How big are your arms? And the kid's like, oh, they're whatever, you know? And he's like, I see your abs. So the kid stands up and gives him an ab shot. And the guy's like, oh, man, they're so deep. That looks awesome. And he goes, you got big legs? And the kid goes, yeah. He goes, would probably be bad here. He's like, let's go to the bathroom so I can see your legs. And the kid stands up. I go, hey, that's a schmo, and he's gonna jerk off to this later. And the kid looks at me, and the guy's eyes get really big. And I go, fuck off, dude.
Here we are. Welcome to It's Just Bodybuilding. I'm Big Ron Partlow, Dusty Hanshaw, and the producer Scott McNally. Of course, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
Ring the bell.
God damn, you ring that bell. And remember, IamMutant.com. Go to IamMutant.com. Get your ISO Surge. Get your All In. Get your Mind FK.
I just got
and
a new
of
tub.
course, everyone should get on the gear. That's the best stuff, Scott.
Oh, I love it. I've been going without it for a few days. I don't get to take it every day, but I did want it today, and I didn't get to use it because it came late. Tropical Punch. I haven't tried this flavor yet.
Oh, that's my flavor.
Yeah?
Yes. I'm a Tropical Punch, or like for my aminos, I like the iced tea.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. I live a simple life, Scott. I don't need fancy flavors. Remember code Big Ron and Dusty. Get your stuff. Avoid people. Stay home.
Yes.
So I'm preaching to everyone. So what the hell did we just see Keone guest pose?
Whew. Yeah.
Like, let's talk about this right off the bat, since everyone's kind of like, oh, okay. Pulling this
pull
up.
that up.
Yeah.
My first thought was he can't fit any more mass under his arms. Like just the muscle around his pecs and lats and arms is just crazy.
Yeah, he was so good before.
Oh my God. What does he weigh there?
How does he compare against open guys, I wonder?
Well,
You know?
I disagree with everyone that he needs to stay in the 212. I don't even think he needs to put on size.
just get in shape and
Just
show up.
get
like
peeled
this
and
size.
show up, whatever you weigh, and I would not be stunned if he won. He's cartoonish in a way that I don't know I've ever seen.
Yeah. Look at that waist from every angle.
This is. I think people are so spoiled now by all the amazing physiques that we have. Like, you know, look at what we're looking at, from Nick Walker's last appearance to Derek at the Arnold to Samson being Mr. Olympia. Like, we're just seeing some of the craziest physiques we've ever seen in our lives. So Keone, because he's quote unquote smaller, gets like mentioned 6th or 7th. Like when people are naming the guys that are the top guys right now, he doesn't get named right away. Everyone says, "Oh, Derek, Hottie, Samson," but like this is a reminder of like what this is not the 7th or 8th name you mention when you're talking about the best guys. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, he's incredible. That waist just blows me away.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's essentially what bodybuilding is about, is like, how do you look on stage posing?
Right?
Right? And I know
that shot. Wow.
You know?
You pick a muscle that needs to come up. I dare you.
Yeah, tell me what's lacking. I don't know.
I dare you to find a muscle that needs to come up. You know what I mean? And that's why I think
nothing.
I really like the idea of saying, okay, the 212s have proven that they can be open guys.
Right.
Hottie, Derek, I'm saying him without him even
Clarita.
doing it.
Yeah.
Clarita winning
Clarita.
open shows. Like, put them all out at the end. Like, bring the winner of the 212 up with the Olympia. Like, he doesn't have to enter. Just he slides right over and does it again. And I think everyone will find out quickly that he will fuck up everything.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and I would not be stunned if he won both shows. And I know that sounds crazy, and it's not a shot at how good the guys are in the open, but I mean, come on. I don't think they would argue that that's impossible.
Is he holding himself back by staying in 212 in any way?
No, because he has room.
Yeah.
From what I understood, he wasn't at the top of the 212 already.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's not making weight.
Okay, so there's that physical perspective.
But he just looks like he's 260, so it's hard to understand.
But I'm saying, so, there's that. So physically, he has that room to come up.
I'm under the impression he had a lot of room.
Is he holding himself back as far as being like seen as the best bodybuilder in the world? Because people will kind of qualify it as, well, he's the best 212. Do you know what I'm saying? There is kind of I
can see the logic of purposely hanging out there and collecting a couple titles.
Yeah.
Like I can see that just really cementing in the wait and see, it's coming. I could see that. You know what I mean? We kind of went through that unofficially with Derek. Like he never said that was happening, but we all kind of watched it happen.
Yeah.
Like he started getting too big to look good at 212. Do you remember what happened with Derek?
Yeah,
he started having to make weight, and then that would
down,
and then that's when he started looking worse at 212, which is a weird thing. But if you think about it, that's what would happen. You know what I mean? You eventually get so much bigger that you have to just be super depleted to be 212, and then it's hard to look good.
His legs would always come down.
Yeah. But I don't think we're going to go through that phase with Keone, because by the time he actually has to make weight, he will be done with the 212 division and fully blasting off into the open is what I think he's planning to do.
That would be crazy.
Maybe he's been training his hamstrings for like a week and a half, so that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe we're just too excitable, gentlemen. Some people say we like to get super excited about things.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They're having a good time over there, and it's just bodybuilding. They're getting excited about stuff.
Do you remember how many people disagreed with us when we said Derek should move up?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I remember that.
He can't possibly be in the mix with those guys.
He's too weird looking. He doesn't have the structure for open.
He can't hold that much size if he does that. I think that they forget that Sean Ray was 212 pounds, 205 pounds, taking top 3 at the Olympia against what everyone claims, and I don't necessarily agree, was the best era ever. So it's like you got to throw away the scale, and I think more people need to do that in general. I remember people used to, even when I was a kid, they're like, oh, well, you're way bigger than the Olympia guys. I mean, look what you weigh. And I'm like, that's cute. My bones are made of cement, and theirs are bird bones. Like, they are so much bigger than me, 40 pounds lighter. Like,
yeah, it's back to the illusion. And every era has had their small guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Arnold's era had Franco, and and then we had Danny Padilla, and then we had Lee Labrada, and then we had Sean Ray and Lee Priest.
Mm-hmm.
And and then Clarita showed up and was like the craziest extreme of it, and Keone has developed into this. I mean, it's crazy, and think of all those guys are like legends that'll never be forgotten, right? And they're like the small guy.
Well, do you think, I saw a thing on Instagram the other day, and I don't know who posed the question, but Keone answered it when they were asking how he would do against Lee Priest, and he said, I would beat him.
Yeah.
And I love Lee.
Better. It was 20 years ago.
He absolutely jumps in on anything. And at the point, maybe he hadn't seen it, but he hadn't said anything, because I don't disagree at all, and I am the biggest Lee Priest fan, but I'm like, there's just too much.
Well, it's supposed to advance. That's
there's that.
But structurally, Keone's perfect.
Yeah.
I mean,
the deep end of the gene pool.
Usually we say, like, imagine if he was 5'10". I don't need to do that. I'm like, imagine him right what he is. It's frightening. So,
so I don't know if I agree with you, Dusty. You said that era when you said, like, I think it was the Sean Ray era, that was like the best era.
That's
of
what
bodybuilding.
people think, and I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Because I was going to say, I'd put this era right now up against it.
Yeah.
Just looking at that, top 10 at the Olympia this year, because literally every single one of those guys is going to be an all-star now versus it's, you know, it's not like just the top 3 and then everybody else if you're a big fan of the sport. This is like some serious stuff going on here this season.
I always like when they interview like the really old greats.
Yeah.
And so, you know, bodybuilding has that problem that people have talked about that we don't need to talk about, but how like some of the old greats kind of shit on the new bodybuilding a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. But I don't see that with other sports. Like with, you know, sports. And not that I don't think bodybuilding is a sport. But like I saw Wayne Gretzky interviewed not long ago, and they asked him, like, you know, where would you fit in nowadays playing with these guys? And he'd go, I'd get killed.
Yeah.
I was 174 pounds, and like the forwards now were 215. I'd get smashed in the corner and like broken. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, I played in the 80s, man, in the 90s.
Yeah.
It was a different era. And they were like, oh, like they were hoping he'd be like, oh, I think I'd still get 1,000 points. Like, they were expecting him to say that stuff. He's like, I know I'm the great one, but like, come on now. Like, the average weight of a hockey player now is like, you know, 197 or something. Like, it's just a different game.
Yeah, guys are 6'3", 240.
Yeah.
And are faster than he was.
I mean, there's 7-foot tall players. You get Pronger was 7 feet tall on his skates. And Chara. Like, Gretzky's 174 pounds in his day. Like, what's he going to do against Chara in the corner?
Yeah.
Like throwing a baby around.
Yeah. No, I think it's great, though. I mean, it's also good for him, though, that everyone's pushing it. Because then when he makes the step, whenever he chooses, I mean, he knows he could do it now. He doesn't want to. Good for him. These guys are great, and I'm excited to see what Keone looks like at the O, because he keeps getting better every time. Like, the condition was better at the last show than ever before, because that was always a knock on Keone, right? Was people would say, I remember multiple times, oh, I saw Keone and his face was still fat, and then he'd show up on stage and win.
Yeah.
Right.
And now, like, at the last O, his face was, like, noticeably. So, like, the condition is getting better. Like, I want to see him show up with a Skeletor face just once, and it would be like, mine. Like, what's that going to look like? You know?
Yeah.
So
I don't think of him as like a smaller guy. You know how you're saying like that each, and I get he is right. I remember seeing it's like a technicality, but he's got a weird illusion because I remember seeing him. He was doing an appearance at one of the booths next to Mutant at the Olympia. And I look over, and there's some guy in a tank top as I'm kind of walking by. And I was like, oh, which Olympian is this? I thought it was one of the open guys. Just seeing him stand there, seeing how big he looks, because he didn't look like he was like 5 foot nothing and as wide as a house. He just looked as wide as a house, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I think I saw him and Hunter like sitting together.
Yeah.
And, you know, Hunter weighs like, what, 50 pounds more than him?
Yeah, Hunter's a big dude.
Like, big. Hunter's big. And like, but sitting on stools side by side, they're like kind of same size.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So
there we go.
Okay.
I asked our people in our live stream here, they want to throw any questions in today. Now is your time, guys. Get the questions up. I'm watching the stream.
We need you.
We're at the live page, by the way. Anybody who's watching this, you know, after it's been recorded and released, we do this show. We've been doing it live lately on Mondays.
Without telling Ron, usually.
Yeah, we don't let him know. We just go live.
Yeah, well, the first 3 we did, I didn't know there were any questions down the side.
Yeah, now you know.
Ron's not knowing anything. Scott and I are fielding questions, wondering where they're coming from.
I'm like, wow, these guys brought a lot of questions.
Why do they keep saying the person's name?
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you guys. You had one, didn't you, Ron? About I can't remember what it was.
Yeah. So I had an exercise question.
Oh,
what are some exercises that you used as a bodybuilder that you look back on and think, that was a waste of time, or that was probably completely unnecessary, or rather unproductive? I might have gotten more out of something else.
That list is long for me.
Yeah. Yeah,
because I did things like, for example, I was big on behind the neck pressing.
okay.
Right.
I thought they were a great movement, and I still do think
Like,
they're a great movement.
end.
But I had a shoulder injury is why I got out of hockey and got into bodybuilding.
And then you chose to behind the neck press.
Let's choose a movement that, with healthy shoulders, is a bad decision. And I would have to, to set it up, I'd have to put my left arm on first and basically force it into position, and I could just throw the right arm up, no problem. and then you unrack it, and you're also, I mean, it's me, so I'm not smart. Let's see how heavy we can go with this. Yeah. And I don't have comfort to get behind my head anyways, so it's literally like hitting the back of my head every rep and coming down, and I'm like, this is a great idea. So I did those forever, and I was adamant, and I will say that I did, I could feel them more through my whole delt, but it's like risk to reward when you're young and dumb. And then eventually I just went, maybe I am getting older. Let's not do this anymore. That, and the other one for me was squats. And we've talked about this before, but it was just because I was strong and ignored the fact that my legs weren't growing.
Right. I remember seeing an iForce video of you barbell squatting 6 plates for reps.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just at the time, 5 plates was the heaviest I ever barbell squatted for a fucking heavy ass set. I'm psyched out of my mind to squat 5 plates back in the day.
Yeah.
And you were just walking 6 plates out and taking it for a ride, a spotter and everything. But I remember just watching that iForce video and going oh, I was not that strong. That's different strength.
And that's where people don't see that it doesn't change necessarily, though. And there's a lot of movements that we're all strong on.
Yeah.
But you have to ask yourself, what's your purpose in the gym?
Yeah, why are you there? There's a lot of energy to expend to not get big quads.
They did nothing.
I know what you went through to put 6 plates on your back.
Mm-hmm.
People who, and we talk about these exercises, but having been through it and having done what I did to be a bodybuilder and all that, I have a deep appreciation for the effort. And when I see guys moving big weights, I know what's going on and how much, you have to be in that lifestyle. You have to be in that fucking moment. And it's not easy to do that. That's a high maintenance type of thing to do. Squat 6 plates every leg day. You got to be you know what I mean? You can't, you're not missing meals. Yeah. You're not getting less sleep than you should be. You know what I mean? So I think Scott lost power, but he's coming back on. He looks great in his freeze frame, though.
Yeah, the one that I froze on was
his
is really solid. No, I think you're right though, Ron.
You know what I mean?
I think the one thing I will say that probably kept me on too long was that I enjoyed them. You're frozen now too, Ron.
Oh, I see myself
you
moving.
stopped. Maybe you just
still.
Good. But it was loving doing them, but also the fact that when you'd start doing them in a gym that wasn't yours, people they see you put 6 on and they watch the first rep and they're not really paying attention. When you hit 6, when you rack at 10 or 12 and you look in the mirror, you realize the entire gym has stopped.
Yeah.
And they're oh, you're going to do 600 pounds for 12. That's sensible.
It's always weird when you're come from your home gym where you train normally. I remember training back at Hardcore Gym in Edmonton, and then you go somewhere and that happens and you're oh, this doesn't happen in my gym. It's you don't mean for it to happen, but it just happens. I remember I was at I remember I was at a gym in a small town. I had to go to a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember putting 3.5 plates aside on the Smith machine for a set of inclines.
Right.
And that was pretty much as heavy as I ever went.
Yeah.
But I did a set, and there was a guy asked for a spot, and he gave me a good spot and everything. But after I racked it, I realized the whole gym, the whole gym was just what's going on?
Yep.
What's the stranger doing? Stranger lifting heavy.
I was doing a guest posing. I can't remember where I was, but I had worked up to 5 plates, and I used the outside of the the power rack to rack it on, and a guy walked up. He sat up next to me, and I went to do my set, and I pull it off, and I did my set, and I put it down, and he goes, I thought you were doing shrugs, because I was doing bent rows.
Oh.
And he's I've never seen anyone do 5-plate bent rows before. And I was anyways.
That's funny.
This is a normal part of the day, but okay. But you said, after a while at your gym, people don't even, he's just doing what he does,
Yeah. I remember funny examples of that too. I went and I trained in another small town gym one time. I would have been probably 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember just, putting the pin at the bottom of the stack on the row and doing a couple hard ass sets of the row with the whole stack. And then this older guy come over and he's no one in this gym has ever put the pin at the bottom of the stack. Like, I was like, really? You know, it's just a seated row machine. Like, but yeah, you know, some people are not exposed to any of that. So it's like amazing when they see it. But, you know, it's just normal. There's like 50 people at your gym that use a stack on that.
Right. Yeah, no, it's definitely a different thing, but it makes it fun. But I remember it in reverse, though, just like you do, Ron. Like the first time I saw guys do stuff.
Right.
And especially in the old school days, like same thing. Like there were some powerlifters at the first gym I started bodybuilding in, and they would gather the plates first.
Yeah, I was talking about that when my buddies would squat.
Thing. So you would just see, like, all of a sudden, and I mean, I was young, so, like, everything was insane. If I saw 3 plates on a deadlift, I was like, oh, my God. You know, so you see these guys, and I think they might have only been doing 5 plates on deads, but in my brain, as they're pulled 10 plates over, and I'm thinking, what are they? And, I mean, I probably wasted half of my workout watching them.
It's a quarter of the plates in the whole gym.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, those are good memories.
Absolutely.
Of like seeing that stuff, and then when you realize you're the guy that's doing that now.
Yeah.
At the time, you know.
That's it's cool though when you look back and see stuff. Nikki always reminds me that you remember things better than they were.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I'm always careful.
You know, but I found it in reverse. It would be things that I was impressed by when I was younger, but it was because what I understood wasn't what I understood later. So like a light heavyweight bodybuilder peeled in the gym to me was like the freakiest thing I'd ever seen. And then my first show, Garrett Downing was the guest poser.
Oh.
And he was like 295 and like full blown off season. And I had never seen anything like that before. And I remember backstage, I was just looking at him. Like my brain was trying to understand what I was seeing.
Yeah.
You know, because I had never... You see the magazines, but you don't realize that they're bigger than the light heavyweight that you see.
Right.
And then when you see him in person, you're like, oh, shit. Like, yeah, this is a different thing. So I got some questions while we're waiting for Scott to get back on.
Scott lost power.
Scott so couldn't handle this show. He just wasn't ready, guys.
His system wasn't ready.
As usual, Ron and I have to pick up the slack. Okay. So because we had a guest planned, we had to come up with our own questions on some of these. So Nikki threw some questions our way. Training on vacation, overrated, underrated, and why?
I love this question because I just saw a couple of other people kind of do it. First thought that comes to mind is, I don't know how other people's lives are, but you're on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Be on vacation. Try to be on vacation. I understand it might not be that type of vacation for everyone, but I see people and I think, your bodybuilding is interfering with you enjoying your vacation.
Right.
And maybe it's because I'm older, but trust me, I went through it. I did it all the different ways you can do it. It's your vacation. It doesn't matter if you miss a couple workouts. It doesn't matter if you enjoy some meals at the buffet. It's your vacation. Yep. I just don't like seeing people being this mono person that can only be a certain way all the time. I'm fine now with hotel workouts, and I'm amazed at how simple of a hotel workout I can do 3 times that week I'm gone and have my body completely not change at all.
Right.
Like, people a little bit too fussy with that. Having said that, I love a good vacation workout. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, for sure.
I'm fine to just go to a gym twice that week as well. Like, I don't need to have a hotel gym workout. It's just, you got to try to be loose about it. Don't let it ruin your vacation is what I'm trying to say. That's my contribution.
Scott?
Hey, good to be back.
So the question was...
I heard it.
Okay,
I heard it, yeah. I'll say this. I can't disagree with anything Ron has to say there. I would say, I'm trying to think, is there anything I can add to that? Because I think that's the truth, Get outside. Here's your opportunity, too, to, maybe give something back to your family, especially if it's, after a prep or something like that. Don't plan vacations. Let me say this. Don't plan your vacation, right after your show. You know what I mean? Like the week after your show, because you're going to want to be able to eat all sorts of fun food, and it's not a good time to like go out and start like just going crazy with the food. Give yourself 8 weeks post show. I had a guy who scheduled a vacation in the middle of his prep. Like, we just had this opportunity to go to Florida, and we're thinking about moving there. So we're going to just let you know, Coach, we're going to be going to Florida. You're 6 weeks out. You know, you're 6 weeks out. We're working here. Yeah. It still worked out. He did good. You know, I'll add those things. Outside of that, I'll just say I agree with Ron 100%. And be careful, because your hydration is not going to be the same. You don't want to go doing no PRs on new equipment that you haven't used before, and you know, possibly hurt yourself, end up in the ER. You know, that's going to definitely ruin your trip. And if your girlfriend didn't already hate bodybuilding and the fact that you do it, she will after that.
Yeah. The only thing I was going to add, and this is from my younger days, is I used to like to go to different gyms. Like, that was part of our vacation.
Yeah.
Because my wife and I, she competed, she loved to go. So for us, it fit. And it was literally like, it was part of what we looked forward to. It was like, oh, well, we're gonna hit San Diego World's Gym while we're down there one day. Then we're gonna do this, but we used to let it go too far, where we like didn't miss a workout.
Yeah,
and you know, in hindsight now, it didn't make sense. And furthermore, like, we just spent 4 days in Florida, and first off, you couldn't pay me to train when I'm out of town. And when I came back, today was the first day back in the gym, my whole body felt amazing. I was like, oh, I needed that. Because we left Wednesday, and I took off. We were back Saturday night. I didn't train Sunday. I was like starting fresh Monday, felt great. And like you said, Scott, even though you're eating, I mean, I don't bring food. I'm retired. I just eat when I'm going to eat, whatever it's going to be. Put on 3 pounds. So it's not even like, that's not even fat. That's just, I wasn't drinking enough. And you look great and you feel great and you enjoy the vacation. So to me, I think, you know, more people need to do that. And on your other comment, Scott, I always remember, so my first big show that I won the overall for Border States, we went directly from California to Vegas.
Yeah.
Because we're like, all right, we're going to go tear up Vegas. We got there, and it was the first time I took my body like all the way.
Yeah.
I slept for a day and a half in Las Vegas. Like, I mean, I literally couldn't drag myself out of bed to do anything. I wasted, and at the time, I mean, we didn't have a lot of money, so it was like, you know, we had 3 days set, and a day and a half I stayed in the room because I was just smoked from the show.
Yeah.
You know, I did the show, a photo shoot for iForce on Sunday, and then we drove straight there Sunday afternoon. Wrecked. So I definitely agree with you. Give it like 4 weeks after the show. Get your body, 4 weeks minimum. Get your body kind of recalibrated into normal, and then go take that break. But okay. So here's another one I thought was solid. Dealing with negative clients. How do you help manage those negative thoughts?
Depends on what kind of negative would depend on the type of negative. When you say negative client, the type of negative dictates my response or my tolerance for it.
Well, when she says, I mean, she added negative thoughts. So to me, that's more about either comparing themselves to other people or worrying about where they are in the prep, or not that they're just like negative bitches, but
here's something to consider, and I'm not saying this for everyone, but your coach is not your therapist.
Mm-hmm.
They're not your life manager. They have a specific job to do, is try to help you with this goal.
Yeah.
Obviously, we develop relationships with people where we offer them other advice. That just happens. That's with all businesses. But some people come to the coach for like I've had people tell me stuff like they start talking about their wife cheating on them and what should they do and all this stuff, and I'm just like,
the neighbor.
Yeah.
Do the neighbor. That's what you're saying.
Sorry.
Her sister.
Revenge.
Yeah. But like it's not that, like, it's just I don't know how to help you with this, and that's not my job, and I don't want to feel like I have to help you with this, right? So like stuff like that. But as far as negative, like one common thing is, this guy is looking really ripped. He's going to be in my class, and they'll send you his Instagram. I just tell people, I'm like, dude, the amount of people that looked amazing on Instagram and then wound up being in like the back half of my class back in the day, in my last few shows there, is like too many to count. Like, don't pay attention to the other guys. Like, you got to try to stay focused on yourself. So that's one thing that I do have helpful advice for. But you have to work on being positive in your self-talk. I mean, I can't solve your self-talk problem.
Right.
You know, what do you think?
I think when I think of those things, first off, I've told clients to get off of social media during preps. Like, if it becomes a problem, I just tell them, like, this isn't helping you. And I really suggest you get off. Because, and a lot of these guys, too, the problem is or say guys, I mean clients, men or women, you're looking at the best bikini girl in the world, and you're getting ready for your first show.
Yeah.
And you're having a panic attack. I had one girl, and she was a great competitor. Actually, I still work with her. And I just sent her a picture of, I think, one of the top 2 or 3 girls ever, because she had happened to have posted her first show next to her most recent one. And I just forwarded that. I'm like, stop trying to compete with the girl who's top 5 at the Olympia. She's not coming to your show. You know?
Right.
But I'll regularly tell people to get off of social media. And then the other thing is, I like to remind people, same thing if they're starting to stress about the time is closing in, the show's getting closer, am I ready? Am I going to be ready? They want like assurance. And I'm like, listen, what you can control and where your focus should be, your urgency should be, is on execution today.
Yes.
I don't even want you to think about what you look like. That's what you pay me for.
Yep.
You just execute, you do your job, and if I do my job, we're going to be fine. But if you're worrying about my job and it's taking away from you doing yours, we're screwed. And then, of course, if you want to go further, cortisol. I can't beat you with cortisol in your system. Like, I like to remind people, stress, like cortisol is amazing. If you're trying to gain weight, you won't. If you're trying to lose weight, you won't. It just goes against everything you stand for.
A great canceller.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of what I jam on people, because I don't know why, and I'm really thankful, but in my bodybuilding career, I trusted Chris so much that, like, we would, I had a training partner meet me at the gym, he'd snap the pictures, I'd literally go to my iPhone, select them, email them, and not look at them.
Right.
Like, he'd go, how do you feel? And I'm like, I didn't look. Like, it doesn't matter. I have no emotion to this. I'm doing what you say.
Yeah.
It's a great place to be. We used to, on that note, Dusty, the idea would be in your prep would be to wear clothes that covered you up. We didn't show off every workout.
Yeah.
And the way I saw it was almost like you were you had like a tarp over the statue to unveil it at the end. So
that was always the mentality.
It was very like monk-like to kind of deny yourself that pleasure of like looking in the gym and flexing, and because it would make me strive to want more, and you couldn't see what you looked like in the clothes that you're wearing. They were generally like unflattering, but it helped me to drive to push to be my best.
We would, you know what? I think there was. You're onto something. You're onto a conversation here. There was a. Didn't mean to be doing it, but we were purposely avoiding compliments.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Purposely avoiding positive shit because we didn't want it to make us soft.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, you look so awesome. You're really getting ripped now.
Yeah,
I don't want to hear
complacent.
That. I don't want to hear that. I'm zipped up. I'm covered. I've got long pants on. I remember being so driven to make people comment on my face.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I want people to start saying shit to me, and I'd be on the cardio. It's like sludging away going, no one said anything to me. My face isn't drawn enough. People aren't commenting to me. Because my face was the only thing I would show anybody. And I would always kick in. I'd be bartending one night or whatever, and someone would be like, are you dieting? Your face is like getting caved in. I'd be like, oh, here we go. That was the type of compliment we were working for. We weren't working for like, oh man, your arms look awesome.
Yeah.
Man, your chest is really strided when you're doing pec deck. We didn't train in tank tops hardly ever.
No.
Nope.
And it was the opposite. Like, I don't want to make myself soft with these comments. I don't want people to say good stuff to me. I want to, like, just drive to the end.
Yep.
And I remember doing that on purpose.
Yeah, no, that was, I mean, I've talked about that before. That was JJ's rule to me when I first started with him. I wore a tank top once, and he put that to sleep in a hurry.
When you look big in a sweatshirt, then you're big. Yeah.
So I got into the oversized. So I think at the time I was probably like a 2X. So I'd buy 3X long sleeve T-shirts, and then wear like Adidas pants, were like gas pants at the time, and shoes. I mean, you could see my hands and my face, and that was it. You know, and it did help. I found too when I was younger, when I would wear something that I could see myself, even when I'd look in the mirror, it wasn't in admiration. It was, I got to bring my biceps up, and I'd be thinking about things. I'm training legs, and going, my arms just suck. You know,
right.
it was never good. So, yeah, no, I definitely agree. Those were. It's funny because it's all about what works for you. It's fine if you like to show as long as it doesn't affect you. But, you know, being mindful is key.
Be mindful of whether you're letting that stuff feed you. Like, like, you know how they say, don't feed the trolls?
Yep.
Don't let yourself eat too much of that. Like, I gotta post this picture so I can get the comments. Oh, you're looking shredded. Oh, look at your abs. Your abs are shredded. You'll be ready in no time. Can't wait to see you on stage. I get the temptation. I'm just wondering if it helps. I think
that's why it was good back in the board days, because you could put up a post of your mandatories, and you would say, like, right in it, you just say, tell me what I need to be better at in your eyes. Like, so, like, and people knew who you were, so they wouldn't stroke you. And if you needed something, sometimes they'd be ruthless. And some, I mean, I got some great posing stuff on the boards.
Right.
They were like, honestly, your back looks great, but you're posing it like shit. You need to do this. And then I would do it, and I'm like, oh.
Another thing, too, when we used to post to the boards occasionally, you were posting to other hardcore competitive bodybuilders that knew. But when you post to Instagram, you're getting all the jibber jabbers who don't really know what they're talking about, and you got all your friends that have been to one bodybuilding show to cheer you on, and you've got all the people from the gym who just kind of train for fun, and they know who Samson is, but they don't really follow bodybuilding, and they're just, oh man, you look incredible, no one's stopping you, unstoppable.
Yeah,
my mom always thought I was going to win.
They're all your mom, right?
Yeah.
So I just say, like, don't let that noise get in your head. I've seen it mess up some people.
So, separate subject that I thought was a great one. Question for each of you: what does your current diet, training, and cardio plan look like, and what are your short-term physique goals?
I've got one too after that, Dusty. One that I've been thinking of that I want to ask you guys.
Mine's
Write
easy.
it down. Don't lose it.
All right, I got it locked away. Steel trap.
Mine's easy. It can take 30 seconds. I have egg whites and toast every morning.
Yep.
And then I have some chicken and rice in the afternoon, or oatmeal with isolate.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then I train. And then I have almost always beef and rice and vegetables, and that's kind of my biggest meal of the day.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I'll have a piece of milk chocolate with that meal.
Nice.
Sometimes I'll have a chunk of a cookie, a little treat. And then before bed, I have isolate, fiber, big serving of fiber, like 35 grams of fiber.
All the fiber.
With isolate and creatine and greens, the big greens, the mutant big greens. I throw all like the best live forever shit in that shake, and I take all my vitamins for the whole day. I know it might not be optimal because the magnesium might cancel out, but I don't know what the hell. Put them all in a cup. I swallow like 2 giant mouthfuls of vitamins, and I pound that shake, and I go to bed.
Okay.
And I do that almost every single day with the odd variation. It's pretty much just 4 meals. And for cardio, I ride my little bike at least once a week for 2 hours. And my heart rate's about 110 to 120 for like pretty much the whole ride because I'm pretty active. And then I do a little bit of gym cardio depending on that, and sometimes some bike sprints. And that's it.
Right.
Nice.
Scott?
My system is something like this. Food-wise, meal 1 is 1 whole egg and a cup of egg whites, a scoop of whey protein, and then either potatoes or oats or a mix of the two. Not in the same bowl, but a combo. And I put the potatoes in the eggs. Like I put them in the air fryer.
I love that.
Get them kind of crunchy, throw them in there.
Do you dice them up?
Yeah, I get the ones that are already pre-diced. They have these hashed brown potatoes. All it is just chopped potatoes.
So you're not having potatoes, you're having hash browns. That's,
No. These are just chopped potatoes. They're diced up. There's no fats added, no nothing. You got to season them yourself. And, you buy them in a big old bag, so I don't have to worry about...
Potatoes, you had a bag of chips.
Yeah. So that's meal one.
Doritos.
Potatoes.
Interesting.
Potatoes.
Meal 2 and 3 are both chicken and rice. And then meal 4 is a shake. That's usually about the way that it ends up going. Just
okay.
Then I'll do one cheat meal a week. Training and cardio. My cardio has been... I'm getting back into it. So I didn't really tell you guys, but... I had like a 6-week dip where like everything went downhill. I couldn't train again. All the long stuff was acting up, but I'm back into it now. And so my current goal is for like 5 days a week. I'm shooting for at least 30 minutes of cardio plus training. So that's
nice.
good. And I put my vest on, my plate carrier, because it's 10 pounds, and that helps me get my heart rate up. So I'm cranking at like level 6 incline as fast as I can walk, with the 10-pound plate carrier on. That gets me up to like around 130, 140. If I do that with training, like any training before the cardio, I'll be able to get that 140, even 150. So I don't care. I'm cranking the heart rate, and I'll do that for like all the way through, 30 to 40 minutes.
Have you seen the math on doing cardio with just a bit of added weight?
Recently I did, yeah, which encouraged me to keep doing it, man. It makes a big difference.
Making extra mortgage payments.
Yeah.
Like the difference is not big on the small scale.
Right.
But when you look at how many calories burned over the course of like 5 years of doing your cardio with a 10-pound vest on, the numbers just get out of hand. You're like, holy shit.
I can't get my heart rate up as high without it. So that's the reason I've been using it,
Yeah. Okay. Dusty?
My diet is the easiest ever now. I do 5 whole eggs.
I call DoorDash 4 times a day.
with 2 slices of that Dave's Killer bread.
Yeah.
In the morning. I do a David bar before I go to the gym. It's like 150 calories. And then after I train, I do 10 ounces of steak with 250 grams of rice. Next meal is 10 ounces of 93.7 ground beef with 250 grams of rice. And my last meal is eggs with the 2 slices of toast again. And if I'm hungry, I'll do 2 scoops of ISO and of the ISO Surge and a tablespoon of peanut butter. We'll call it 2 tablespoons of peanut butter. Since I know
grounded.
It's a tablespoon with a giant mountain on the top.
It's 30 grams, but I didn't weigh it.
It's 36 grams that I'm calling 1 tablespoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. I mean, I think, and then as far as I do cardio 6 days a week.
Okay.
Cardio is my obsession now. I do 30 minutes on the bike. I can usually do about 10 and a half miles in 30 minutes.
Wow.
So I'm like, fuck you, Lance Armstrong. I'm coming for you.
I ordered a heart rate monitor because I want to actually see what I do when I'm on my bike.
Oh, cool.
Uh-huh.
Because like we rode for 2.5 hours. My buddy Jamie and I rode for 2.5 hours the other day.
Yeah.
And like when I got home, I was soaked. Like my shirt was like I was in the shower.
Yeah.
Right.
And I took my pads off. They smelled like hockey equipment.
Oh,
like
ooh, that's a memory.
I was like, I need to figure out, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea what's going on. I'm just out there having fun, and every time I check my heart rate, I'm like, oh fuck, it's up there.
You need a whoop.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what you get up to.
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting another. So I use the Apple Watch, and that was one of the reason I got it was like to measure that, look at my sleep, and I don't think it's really that good. So I'm thinking about getting something else, an Oura Ring or something.
Yeah, no, it's. I think what's cool that you find out later in your career, which I was told the whole time, is how hard it is to lose. Like knowing what you've done, Ron, to get down in weight. You made it look easy. I had no idea you had to starve yourself to death to make that happen. Like, I mean, we went on vacation for a couple of days. I came back, I was 275. I'm like, I eat 4 meals a day.
And then it piles up.
Like, it won't go, you're like, you're taking TRT and sitting at 270 while being on outside of traveling, we do 1 meal a week, 2 occasionally, but it's like 1 meal a week that we eat out. And I mean, I have to fight if I want to see 265. It's like no meals a week, you know. So Ron definitely made me think it was easier than it was. I'm like, I told Nikki, I'm like, I'm not going to be able to train.
You danced with the one who brung you for too long, Dusty.
Like, I mean, literally, I'm like, so I'm going to have to not work out to shrink the way I want to and then starve myself.
Right.
So what I'm saying is I'm going to die early because I probably won't be able to do it. I don't have the commitment that Ron does.
That's funny.
To losing weight. I'm like, oh, shit. So
maybe my genetics are just shittier than yours, and I just shrank easier.
No, you told me, and I didn't believe you. And Dante told me for years it's going to be hard. And I'm like, I just stop eating so much, and I'll just shrink right up.
I will for sure say that, like, now I'm 235 to 240 every morning.
Wow.
But for me to get down into the 235 range, I was very strict for several years where I wouldn't have a bite of cookie or anything unless it was like Saturday.
That's why you wouldn't hang out with me?
And and when I was away, like even on the road trips, I would be a little more clean because I was just really trying to get down. And then once I got down there, I started eating a little more freely, and I can just sort of manage it now. Like, you know, I go away and hang out with Dusty, and I come back 245. I'm like, oh shit. And then within 5 or 6 days, I'm 238 again. I'm like, okay, I'm back, you know, burned off all that.
You should get like down to like 230 before the Olympia in preparation.
Well, the lightest I've seen is 232.
Because we're going to be eating a lot.
Yes.
I'm dragging him all over Vegas, whether he likes it or not. I'm going to go broke while we're there again.
All right. I've got a question for you guys. Now,
hit it.
It might take you a minute to think of this. I was thinking back to a story I heard PJ Braun tell on a podcast like a decade ago. He had this crazy story about guest posing with Evan. And the place where they showed up, like the people who ran this show were strange, right? Like it was the craziest thing. And they're like the whole epic PJ type story. And it made me wonder, you know, you guys have flown around to show up and maybe guest pose at shows, or Ron, you've done Mutant on a Mission. You guys are meeting all sorts of new people everywhere. I don't want you to put anybody on the spot, and I don't want you to blast anybody, but can you think of any really weird experiences that you had where you showed up to a place, Ron, maybe it was Mutant on a Mission, you're going to train at this gym, and things just turned out to be very different than you initially expected?
I have them so fast.
Okay.
They jumped in my head so fast, Ron.
Dusty, you go first.
All right.
And
I have two. I'm going to start with one because they're along the same lines.
I can hear you, but I got to go for 1 minute. So
okay.
Go ahead.
But, one of the first big guest posings I did, Scott, the show's going on, so we go backstage. It's me and another guy. I'm not going to say who because I'm trying to keep where we were out of this situation.
Can I guess? Was it Jose?
No, it wasn't. So, and it isn't about the person. I just don't want anybody to get an idea where we were.
Yeah.
So we're backstage, and we go back to get sprayed before we go on.
Yeah.
And so we go back there, and it was the first time in my life where I realized how many hoes are in bodybuilding. Because we're back in there, and girls come into this room that it's just me and this other guy and a spray tan lady.
Yeah.
And they come in and, like, just change.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not like they were turning around. I'm like, this is a show. And I remember thinking, like, does this work for you? Is this a normal experience? So, yeah, that was really odd. And then the other thing, which is in the same lines, I was out of town one time, and a girl asked me if I could help her with posing because I was doing that at the time. And so I was like, sure, you know, it'll cost. I mean, just like anybody else. She's like, no problem. So we're in the back of this gym, and we just kind of go in the back corner, and she peels down into her suit, and I'm not even paying attention. I turn, and she's in like a transparent bikini.
Oh.
And I'm like, and then I feel weird, like I'm a part of this weird thing.
Like you told her to put this on and pose for me.
And I'm like, oh my. So I'm like, all right, we're going to just do this and see what happens, you know? So, I mean, I'm like eye contact while trying to see her physique and ignore the fact that she's basically naked.
Yeah.
The only thing great about it, Scott, is we posed for 20 minutes, and somehow Jesus stepped in for me because no one came back there. Not a single person. And I was mortified that someone would come back and they're like, "What the hell is this guy doing?"
Dusty
kind of
makes
rackets this guy got going.
Yeah, yeah.
Like open gym corner. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, I don't know. I brought the worst out in people. Apparently, my reputation preceded me.
Yeah. Amazing.
Ron,
what do you got for us?
keep yours clean, would you?
Oh, well, now it's not going to be any fun if I can't tell the dirty one.
Tell the dirty one.
No, I'm just kidding. That was a good one, Dusty.
No,
it's
it
always
wasn't.
awkward.
Yeah, that would be awkward.
That was not fun at all.
Yeah. I had a very similar thing happen where there was this one girl I was coaching and I hadn't met her.
Yeah.
Just been coaching her through email. This was back in like the email days, like email only. And then she's like, I'm going to be in town. I'm going to come by your gym and you can pose me. And she was like no messing around. She was like a good client.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, my husband and I are in town. I'm going to come and you need to have a look at me. I was like, yeah, sure. So they came by for a workout and everything. And then he's just all casual. He's like, yeah, you guys go upstairs and pose. And he didn't even come upstairs. He was downstairs talking to people. And I went upstairs and like we used to use a tanning room. We'd go use the tanning room. There's a good mirror in there. So we kind of like pile in the tanning room and I'm kind of in the doorway. And she just strips down naked in front of me. And I remember just being like, oh, like, but she was just one of those people. Like, she just didn't give a shit. Like, she's talking to me, like, standing there completely naked, like, yeah, so I got my entry forms, like, and just gets like, and you're just like, holy smokes.
Yeah.
Damn. Like, some people, like, it's like she was the equivalent of a hockey player. Like,
Yeah.
just didn't care, And then we go we pose, and it's all good, and I, like, turn my back again, and we head downstairs, and we come around the corner, and her husband's like standing there talking to like the gym owner, and he's like, "So, she get naked for you?" And I'll never forget, he said it like joking, like, "Oh, you see her pose?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's all he meant.
Oh.
But to me, I'm like, because I'm like,
Yes, she
29 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, we posed, and he's like, good. Like he was. I just realized these people were just so casual about it. Did she get naked for you? I remember freezing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
And I also sometimes forget. You know how this is, guys. You're sitting in the airport and you're just waiting for your flight. So you're doing some check-ins.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
You're scanning through your check-ins.
Oh, yeah.
And you do 3 or 4 check-ins, and then you realize that somebody's like watching you do check-ins, and they're thinking like, what the hell is that guy doing? There's like,
I saw half-naked dudes on his phone.
I saw 3 dudes in their underwear and then a chick in a bikini. This is like this guy collecting naked pictures of people. I always wonder what they think when they get
an eyeful,
a face, an eyeful of the iPhone.
Yeah, yeah.
I imagine if I died and someone got into my phone, they'd be confused, because I have probably pretty close to equally the number of half-naked men in my phone as I do women.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
so he played for both sides.
Right. No, I'm just a judge. Very judgy.
I remember there was a guy at one of the big national shows, and I was dating a girl who was competing, and this guy, he's one of the dudes, got the backpack on, not a lifter at all, right? He's got the camera in his hands, got the backpack on, he's like walking around taking pictures of everybody, and he's videoing stuff. And, girls are like checking in, and he's like got the camera on him, and he's just like filming people walking around the lobby and all that. He made his way up to the tanning room, and they had to tell him. He's just standing there. There's a naked girl. She told me later, she was like, yeah, that guy, with the glasses, he's just standing there videoing all the girls. And like nobody instantly caught on to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. It happened for like several minutes before somebody was like, what are you doing in here? You need to leave. And he's like, oh, okay.
Filming naked girls.
Yeah.
Did he have
What does it look like I'm doing?
You just got to laminate a bunch of tags and have like a whole bunch of tags hanging around your neck.
You look like you're supposed to be
and then
there.
people just go, oh, he's documentary.
Yeah, he's doing this thing, Yeah, he's supposed to. He's with one of them, No, he was not with any of them.
You reminded me of something, Scott, that I have to share. This is for the young bodybuilders.
Yeah.
This is important. So I'm at the USA's, my second time doing it, and we're waiting for weigh-ins. So we're just sitting outside of the room, and we're just on like a planter edge that they had at this hotel. So I'm sitting there with this kid, young guy, and a few others, and this guy comes up, and the kid's in like a tank top, and he's like, "Man, you look good. Let me see your arms." So the kid like hits his arms. He's like, "Oh man, how big are your arms?" And the kid's like, "Oh, they're whatever, you know." And he's like, "Can I see your abs?" So the kid stands up and gives him an ab shot, and the guy's like, "Oh man, they're so deep. That looks awesome." And he goes, "You got big legs?" And the kid goes, Yeah. He goes, "Would probably be bad here." He's like, Let's go to the bathroom so I can see your legs." And the kid stands up. I go, "Hey, that's a schmo, and he's gonna jerk off to this later." And the kid looks at me, and the guy's eyes get really big. And I go, "Fuck off, dude." And he's like, looks at me and then runs away. The kid's like, "Oh my God.
You saved me.
I didn't know what was." He thought it was like a bodybuilding fan.
Yeah.
He was getting compliment bombed, and it was his first time. He'd never left his small town before.
Oh, I was like, I let it go for a minute when he was like, "Let's go to the bathroom." I'm like, I have to step in.
You let him go right to getting in the van.
Yeah, get in the van.
Didn't let him in the van, right?
"Hey, kid, I got a bike. Come in this
Don't get in the van.
real quick."
Don't get in the van, kid.
Yeah.
I just remember the kids, and he sat down, and you could see he was flustered. He was like,
Changed his life.
"Thanks, man." I'm like, "You're welcome."
He's told that story to his friends now, you know, down the road. He still
Dusty
remembers
Hanshaw
that to this
saved me.
day.
I was supposed to be abducted.
Yeah.
It was, you know, when you've been there a long time and you've been in the game, you know what's happening. You're
Hey, that's a schmo.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll always remember. I could see it happening. I was like, got to step in before he goes to the
It's like
bathroom.
I can
with this
hear
guy.
like a Discovery documentary. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
You know, the young
that guy-
cub was unaware of the predator, but the veteran lion wanders over to give him a tip.
That was so bad. Oh,
So,
man.
do you guys know who Jesse James West is?
Yes.
So he did it when we were out at the Olympia last year. He did an interview with Victoria. He was doing a whole project on female bodybuilding, and it was huge. Victoria's in it as she was kind of like the grounding force through this segment, because it was like, you know, like what drives women to do bodybuilding.
Cutting to her for the insanity.
They kept cutting to her for like the, you know, the like the scientific background of it kind of thing. So we had we were in a studio. It was pretty cool. This cool setup. Jesse James West met some guy who had a cool podcast studio in Vegas. And he was like, "Yeah, Jesse James West, you're welcome, man, to use my stuff. You know, you can use it for free, just like, you know, whatever."
That's awesome. Yeah.
So this is where it took place, and they had cool lighting set up and everything. And she introduced him to the idea of Schmoes, because we're talking about female bodybuilding, right?
Right.
And they didn't end up using any of that footage, like any of it. But his face was like, "What's a schmo?" And then he's just sitting there leaning into the mic, like head turning and listening as she's explaining. He's like, "What? Is this really a thing?"
It's an entire sub-industry running on them.
Yeah.
I had a friend that lived in Venice, and the guy paid for her house, bought her a car.
Wow.
She lived for years, and he was really older. And I asked her, because I knew her well, I'm like, "Be honest. What do you have to do for this?" She's like, "He likes to go to breakfast 4 days a week."
Huh.
And I'm like, "Tell me the rest." And she's like, "That's it."
Wow.
And there were like 3 other girls on the same payroll. They all had their own places. And imagine, I mean, you could walk to Gold's from her house.
Yeah.
I'm like, "So you're living in a $1 million small place, driving a Mercedes, and this guy's just covering it."
I mean, that's a good game she's got going there. I'd go out to a breakfast with a dude 4 times a week for that.
I'd go out to breakfast with him 4 times a week for him to buy me breakfast.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. I'll sell it for
I'm
less.
in.
I'll sell it for a little less. Just give me the.
I was
give me
broke
the
at
hash
that
browns,
point in life.
You know?
Give me the breakfast.
I was like when they interview like high-end escorts or something, and they're like, "So, what do you have to do for?" And they're like, "Some of the guys just want to spend 3 hours talking to a girl without getting bitched at."
Huh.
They're like, "Some of my best customers I've never had sex with.
Wow.
They just want to go on a date where no one complains about anything and says thank you
It has
and
a nice
smiles
night.
and laughs.
Yeah.
It has a nice night and is
Pays
pleasant."
for the meal and pays for me.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Wow.
like it's freaky. Some of the stories you hear, you know,
Never
Yeah.
what you expect.
Yeah.
No. And then of course there's the stuff you hear about where they fly to Dubai. It's never good.
Yeah. Don't get in the van.
Go get in the van.
Exactly.
It all comes back to that. Okay.
Do we have any more?
That's good. That was really good. I like the direction we took that. That was a new direction, I'd say, for the show. We haven't done that stuff before.
Schmoes abducting women.
Yeah.
Or young kids, I mean. Schmoes
I don't know if
abducting
we can
teenage
say those
bodybuilders.
words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mark the time on that one, Scott, for your editing purposes.
Hey, what about this one? One of our listeners asked us, and I've got a few good ones here from the last show. And by the way, guys, comment with questions for the next show. Actually, we have a guest next week, but you know what? If you comment with questions, I'll save them for the following time. He says, when you guys got started out coaching, how did you go about getting clients? Thanks for answering my last question, too, boys. I don't remember what his last one was, but you got it, man.
I accidentally became a coach. I never meant to. I never wanted to do it. I helped a guy for a show once, and he looked really great. And I will admit, he looked awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I helped a guy for a show, and he was one of those guys that gets in good shape, and he was like literally the most shredded guy in the show. And so then the next show rolled around, and there was 3 guys from the gym. Like, can you help me? And then they did really well. And then then it just, and then next thing you know, a friend of mine was like, you need a website. And I was like, what? Because I used to build websites, and this was in like 2002. He's like, you need a website. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So I like got a website, and then I started getting emails. I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And just accidentally became a coach. And I never advertised, and I never handed out business cards, and I never contacted a single person and said, you need coaching, you could be fuller.
Yeah.
I never did the old client steal. I never did the old, hey, your coach did a pretty good job, but you know,
But he
could
doesn't
have been
know.
a little tighter. Maybe he's not aware that you could have, done a like died a little harder. Like, I never did that to anybody.
The thing is, too, Ron, is I felt that way at times earlier on in bodybuilding. Like, I looked at somebody and I'd be like, oh, he looks good, but he could have been better. What I didn't realize at that point, though, because I was genuine in it, I didn't realize, like, well, what did it take to get to this? Because you're not, you know what I mean? You don't have that whole backstory.
You don't know.
Yeah, it might have been like, oh, he's been on like 2 hours of cardio and no carbs, and he was this heavy before, and he's got problems with insulin, and you know. Yeah.
So I think the first thing I got to cover is it's way harder now. Because when we started coaching wasn't a thing.
No.
That everyone wanted to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't called
Obviously,
coaching.
aceto and all those things existed, but like, because my story is exactly Ron's. I helped my first wife get ready for her first show. She looked great. We were backstage. I was helping her. I had a couple girls ask for little basic things. I was like, oh, yeah, do this, oh, do that, you know, because they were just doing it themselves. Show ends. Next week, I have 4 clients. And I was doing it because at that point, I was like, I don't do this. So I didn't charge them. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
So I worked for over a year doing multiple shows for people and never charged a penny. And then when I got to the point where I was working because, you know, I had 10 clients for one show, I was like, I need to charge something for this. And I just started doing that. But it was just a different time. But what I will say for people in the moment now is there's something to be said about giving away some information to get clients.
Yes.
You know, I had a guy just barely. He flew down last week before. He was in town and he said, hey, I saw that you trained Scott's client, and it hit me that I could use some of the same things. And I said, sure, you want to do a training session? I said, you know, here's what it costs. And he was like, okay, cool. He came in, we trained. We were talking throughout the workout. I was just giving him bits and pieces of things I think he could do. Yeah. And about a week and a half passed, and he just emailed me. He goes, you know, I thought a lot about it, and maybe I should just hire you. And I was like, cool. And I just sent him his stuff yesterday, because when he wanted to hire me, it was right when I was leaving on vacation. I'm like, hey, I can't get it done until Sunday, and we're off and running. But I didn't try to sell him anything. He hired me for a workout. Yep. And conversation led to the idea that it would be good. And, you know, I think that's another key is, you know, I could have been like, oh, you probably really could get help I don't have to do that. Yeah. You know, so I think you should think about that when you're younger and you're trying to get rolling is you have a job, or you should. So if you get one person to pay you $150 a month, that's a big help. You get 3, you're good. Like, don't try to quit your job immediately and become a coach.
No.
There's a guy here locally that did that, and he had to go back to selling cars because he found out, like, oh, this is hard. Because, you know, I told him when he was telling me it was tough, I said, well, I'm not trying to be an ass here, but look around this gym. I mean, you got Jeremy Potvin in here, you got me, you got all these people. It's going to be harder for you to get business.
Yeah, there's that.
Because if they can hire you or they can hire me for around the same price, I have 20 years experience. Who do you think they're going to hire?
Yeah.
You know, and I said, but it doesn't mean you don't know what you're doing or you can't get started, but just it's going to take time. So I think being patient, and like Ron said, I mean, how do we both really get clients? We had people that got results, and people are like, who did you get? You know, and it got to the point, I mean, I've told this story before. I don't know if it was on the show or not, but I went to a show years ago in Arizona. I stopped going to shows, the local shows. And I went to a show because I had a couple guys in it. And so I'm sitting there, and the guy's like, oh, you came back to the show. He's like, oh, you got some guys? And I said, yeah. And one of my guys walked out, and he turned around, and he goes, that's one of them? I'm like, mm-hmm. And then 2 guys later was another one. He goes, that's another one? I'm like, mm-hmm. And he could just pick them out when they walked out the door, and it's like, that's how you get clients.
Yeah.
When someone can pick out your clients without asking, then you've proven you know how to get people in shape.
Yeah. I've had judges say that to me. Mm-hmm. Like I took it as a compliment, but I've been like, you know, in the bathroom and you run into a judge, and he'd be like, "Hey, that light heavyweight with the green trunks, was he yours?" Mm-hmm. And I go, "Yeah," and they go, "Thought so."
Yeah.
You know, like, and you're like, "Oh, I think that's a compliment. I like that. That's good." You know, and then sometimes I've heard them say that they could tell from the way he was doing his mandatories.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's a good compliment too, you know? Like standing properly, you know.
To the hips.
Yep, to the hips.
To the hips.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. You know? So basically, Dusty just poached Scott's client? Is that what that meant? Kenny PL?
That wasn't Scott's client. That was from the show. No, he didn't have a client.
That was,
were
you saying,
have a coach
were you talking about the training? Because you said you worked with one of my guys on training, Zach.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
he
that's
means.
what I meant. Yeah, your client.
Which I got to tell you, by the way, so he picked up a lot from that. You know, here's the thing: is that I remember. So I'd worked with Zach when we were young. He was younger, and he was competing. He just started competing. I helped him through his shows, and we had worked out together a few times. This was like back in 2015 or so. And when we reconnected, you know, just a year or so ago, I looked at his training, and he just didn't have the intensity. And I was trying to teach him how to get that, and he just wasn't. And I was like, dude, you live by Dusty. He's like, oh, I'm training at Dusty's gym now. I was like, perfect. So that upped his training. That like turned a light bulb on for him. And to take it a step further, now he's training with somebody else. He got a good partner who's a competitor.
It's game changing.
And he's really taken off. And it's all the difference in the world too. Like, he was making progress, you know, good-looking bodybuilder, you know,
great physique.
You know, yeah, really nice physique. It looks way bigger than what he actually weighs, which is a great thing. You know what I mean? He looks 20, 30 pounds bigger than his actual weight. But I could see, like, if you're gonna reach your goals in this lifetime, we have to get that intensity up. And now he has that thing that he needed. So, yeah.
When people have the mindset, and you guys know this, like I told the guy that came down here, he's like, "How many sessions do you think it's gonna be?" I'm like, 1.
Yeah,
you're not asking me about form. You're asking me what you can do to make your workouts better. And I could tell communicating. He's a very smart guy. And as soon as we were in the gym, I could just see. I was like, you need a bump.
Yeah,
like because he's already. I mean, this guy's lost like I can't quote it, but like 100 pounds on his own.
Wow,
doing his own nutrition, his own training in his house. I mean, he's got the things, and he's like, I just need a little tweak, a little further. And that's when it's fun to help people, because you're like, you walk away from the workout, you're like, you'll never need me again. Have fun.
Yeah. And that's what you should be able to do, whether it's a one-time thing or even coaching itself. Like, eventually I want people to like have figured that out. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've got some stuff I wanted to add. I agree with you, Dusty. It is probably a harder market than ever to get into now, because literally everybody's coaching. Everybody who's watching this podcast is a coach, and then their clients are coaches. You know, all of my clients are coaches now, it seems, or at least a lot of them are. And I'll say that didn't intentionally get into coaching at first, but I did get into helping people. And it went back to exactly what you said, Dusty. I heard Dave Palumbo on a podcast say, whatever you're doing, if you love it, then keep doing that, and eventually it will pay. And I was answering questions on a message board, and I started my own thread. And I had so many people asking me questions that I ended up getting hired by a supplement company to run a Q&A and help people just basically answer their questions. And I did that long enough to the point where people were like, hey, do you coach? And I did coach people locally already, but it wasn't like there was no overlap between online and eventually that's when I started doing it. But I think the hard part is, what do you charge people early on? You know, what is your information level that you can impart, say, compared to me or Ron or Dusty, if we've been doing it for 15, 20 years? You know, I've been coaching for 15 years, last decade full time. You know, at the same time, if you don't charge enough, then are you going to get the commitment? I remember early on being like, I'll just help you for free. I'll help you for free, you know? And then those people don't always have, they're like, okay, yeah, I'll do that. But then they don't really have the commitment either, because they don't have, they weren't as invested. They didn't financially pay for it. It doesn't feel like it's worth as much to them. So I think that was the hardest part for me, was trying to like turn it into getting people that were invested, you know, I guess is that early stage of coaching, because then I wanted more experience. And so I was willing to help people for little money, but then those people weren't as invested. So, yeah, I don't know.
I think there's two lines of that too, Scott, because I know Ron's prices too. We both charge less than most people who've been doing this as long as us.
Yeah.
I don't know what you charge, but and I've had clients ask, because they've reached out to other coaches, and they're like, he charges $200 more a month than you do. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
And they ask why, and I say, because I don't want to limit who I can work with. I love working with young guys that are coming in. And I mean, I remember when a few $100s was a lot of money. And I need them to have enough money to also do all the things I need them to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I choose to do it that way. Like, I'm like, this is enough for me to make it worth the time I put into it. But you have to ask yourself what you want to do and who you want to work with. So if you want to charge a premium and you get to the point that you can, that's fine. Just understand the pool of people who can afford it changes.
Yeah.
And if you like, because I don't have an obsession with training, like coaching Olympian guys and, you know, that. I really enjoy taking somebody from the beginning and then going through the process, or moms who have forgotten that their name is Julie. They're not just mom and wife.
Yeah.
And kind of like reminding them they're a person. Like, that's the fun stuff to me. So you factor that in. But you'll laugh about this, about the money thing, Scott. So my mom had asked me to write her diet many times.
Right.
And I always did it, of course. Boom, boom, done. And one time she's like, hey, I need you to write me another diet. And I said, okay, it's $500. And she's like, what?
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to pay me $500.
Yep.
And I said, and in 6 weeks, if you're still doing it, I'll give you your $500 back.
I love that.
And she's like, why would you charge me? And I said, I'm not really charging you. I'm literally, you can write down the numbers on these bills. Like, I will give you these bills back.
Yep.
But I need you to part with them for 6 weeks.
And all you got to do is follow the plan. I love that.
Just stick to it. And she was so pissed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm sorry, but you've had me write you so many diets. And first off, you don't need a diet. You look fine. Your health is good. But if you're going to do it, I need a 6-week commitment.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
We got one from Dr. Marv. He says, question, would love to hear about your guys' light bulb moments during your bodybuilding career. He said an example would be, my chest sucked for the first 7 years of lifting.
Right.
It still does, but less now. And I've always remembered the first time that I didn't just press the weight, but flexed my chest before pressing and felt my pecs fire for the first time ever. Not even beyond my dominant shoulders taking over. The next day, my pecs were absolutely ruined, and the lesson was learned.
I vividly remember two that just came to mind because of the training you mentioned. I was at Gold's Venice. It would have been 96, I think. my dates are actually starting to get foggy. I'm getting old enough.
Attaboy.
And I remember Flex Wheeler was there, and he was training with Charles Glass, and he had on a big purple sweatshirt.
Okay.
And I remember they were doing chest, and I had lost him in the gym for a little bit because, it's a big gym. And then I saw them again, and they were on the flat barbell bench. And I don't know what they did before that, but I remember that Flex Wheeler had 2 plates aside on the barbell bench. And I remember Charles Glass unracked it, and he did like a set, and like it wasn't a lot of reps. He didn't get like 20, he got like 8. And Charles was like spotting them, and they racked it. And then I remember they went down to a plate and a half or something.
Yeah.
And he like repped out again, and I was kind of trying to watch, but I was training back. And I remember thinking like, God, he's so weak. Right? This is the young, dumb 20-something me that thought everyone just inclined 4 plates all day long. And then he took his sweatshirt off after they benched, and it was like, the cartoonish bullshit that you would expect from Flex Wheeler exploding out of his sweatshirt, looking 10 times bigger without his sweatshirt on. And I remember just being like, oh, it doesn't matter at all.
Yep.
Yeah. He's training. As long as he's training hard.
Yeah.
He's training hard. He's doing all sorts of different stuff. It takes more than just one thing to build a physique, and he doesn't need to do that thing all the time or whatever. Like I realized that there was more to it than what I had been like solely focused on. And then I remember fast forwarding to a guy that I knew from the gym back in the day, and he was a small dude, and he started getting ready for a bodybuilding show, and I remember thinking he was going to be like a lightweight. And he was one of those small guys that had like good arms, but I just never expected him to look that crazy. And he was always in there training hard. And one day he was squatting, and I remember he was squatting 2 plates aside. That's as heavy as he ever went. And he had these ass to grass, like super deep, looked like a European weightlifter. He's sitting up so straight, he just had that perfect squat form. And I remember he was squatting, and the guys were like, oh, hey, your show's coming up. And I remember he pulled his pants down in the rack, and I was big. I was like 320 pounds. And he pulled his pants down in the rack and showed us his quads. And mind you, he's training legs, so like legs don't look as cut when you're training them,
blown
right?
up, yeah.
He pulled out his quads. They were still striated.
Yeah.
Totally striated. And blown out balloon, ridiculous looking quads.
Yeah.
And I'm in his pants, they looked like this.
Okay.
He looked like he had no legs. And he dropped his pants, and I remember just thinking, oh my God, this guy's lower body is mind-boggling. And he squats 2 plates and looks like he doesn't train in clothes.
Yep.
And I remember like hurting my leg. I was like, oh my God, like insulted me. I was like, that guy's quads were they better than mine? Are they bigger than mine?
Yeah.
This guy weighs like 160 pounds. Like I was just irritated and upset and impressed all at the same time. And it was like a light bulb moment. I was like, oh man. And then I remember thinking of his form when he was squatting and how he was sitting and using, like just everything he was doing. I was like, fuck, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Damn. Light bulb moments where you're that advanced. I was already way over 300 pounds.
Huh.
But you're still always like kind of realizing little things that shit.
What's yours, Scott?
I'm trying to think of one I haven't shared before. I've told my story about figuring out back, and
Still a great story.
I love that. It was all in just like changing my technique, and it's the quickest thing. That's one of the things I can pick out now, that because I figured that out, I see it in other people. When people come to me that I'm working with and they don't have as good of a back, I'm like, let me see your training. And I see like, oh, that's what I used to do. I see that a lot of times, like similar mistakes, but I'm going to go way further back. All right. So this was about, I trained as a kid, right? And I didn't know anything about diet. I knew about protein shakes. I knew about CarboForce, and I knew about Ultimate Orange. And I knew about creatine. Of
course you did.
And that was it. At like 12 to 15 years old, those were the supplements I knew about. Knew nothing else about food.
Ultimate Orange.
But I learned about like 3-way training splits and 2-way training splits and all that. And nothing about food, didn't make any progress. I was also 12 to 15 years old. 1920, I trained again for another year and a half, 2 years. Still didn't make good progress, but I got stronger, et cetera, et cetera. Didn't know about nutrition. Then it was finally when I was about 30, I was like, you know what? If I'm ever going to make good progress in bodybuilding, I need to figure this out. I need to figure out what I've been missing. And that's when I learned about protein. And honestly, it completely changed my perspective. I realized, and I know this is real basic, everybody knows how important protein is to their diet, but to me it was such a big moment because I realized, okay, this is the key, that you get enough protein in and then the muscle is going to grow. And to me, I was like, it was such a light bulb moment, because before that there was like this magic of, why was this guy bigger? It was maybe genetics and this guy isn't. And I just, all of a sudden, like, there was no question in my mind I was going to build a physique that I could compete with. And I weighed like 125 pounds at the time.
Right.
But I said to myself, like, I don't know when it's going to happen, but now that I know this, I know that it's in the nutrition, and I just need to keep working that nutrition, and then figured out gear a little bit after that, and feed that nutrition with the gear, and said, you know, and I will get to the best whatever my body's capable of. And it was like such a cool moment for me.
Yeah.
I started it out by eating a steak every time I worked out. I did like my normal diet, and I trained really hard, and then I ate a steak. Like every day, that's what I was doing.
There's nothing wrong with that. I still do.
Yeah.
Mine was actually real simple, and I think that this is an important one that I jam on my clients all the time. When I got more advanced, I started getting into the programs.
Okay.
And like going to the gym, and I got a plan, and I'd go to the gym and train. I'd train hard, and I did all the things, and my results kind of plateaued. And I'm like, I'm more organized than I've ever been. Like, I've got a plan when I'm going in, I'm executing, I'm not doing anything else. Why am I not getting results? And I got frustrated after a while, and I was like, throwing the plan out the window, and I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing and just train. And I started seeing results again. And I was looking and I'm thinking, what's the difference? Like, is it the volume? Is it this? And then I realized something really stupid and simple that I push to clients all the time. I was going to the gym to have fun.
Yeah.
And when I have fun and train hard,
imagine that,
I get the result.
It's got to be fun.
The amount of people, and even my own clients, like I give people programs, and if it's not clicking, I'm like, stop doing my program.
Yeah.
All I really need you to do is train, especially because when you're younger, or I should say younger in the game, everything needs to get bigger. So we're not nitpicking on how we're going to get your,
lower pack,
upper, rhomboid thickness in there. You know what I mean? Or whatever. Just grip and rip and have fun. And so that's how I fell into Dante's training. It fit my mindset of a scoreboard, because I was an athlete. I need a scoreboard. Bodybuilding is a 2 years long process between shows. I need immediate gratification. That made me have a scoreboard every day, which made it fun. And so I can't push that enough. If you aren't having fun training, I promise your results are not as good as they could be.
That's like guys who, because I've had this talk with myself too, because you know how once in a while, if you can imagine, I get grumpy. What? And I think that I'm right and everyone else is an idiot. Right? Just saying, that might happen once in a while.
Every now and then.
So every once in a while, I remember, like, I'll see guys training and I'll think, like, I know these guys talk about making gains, but it almost looks like they're having too much fun in the gym. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, and then I think, no, this is good. Sometimes I see it as chaotic. I spent so many years as like a bodybuilder that my life was all systemized, that when I see guys who sort of, for example, train with lots of different people, you know those guys? Like, there's a bunch at my gym because there's such a community there. Maybe they do chest with this guy, chest with Dave, back with Steve.
Yeah.
Going to do some hamstrings with, actually, Tina's hopping in on hamstring day with Dave and Jim.
Yeah.
And I think, man, there's not enough consistency here. Like, I trained at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I trained, it was me, or it was me and my partner, and that's just how I was.
Yeah.
But other people, they have a lot of fun training like that with a lot of other people, and it keeps them really motivated. And I'm like, I've got to. What I'm saying is sometimes I think that that's a negative, but it might actually be for them a huge positive.
Yeah.
And I try to not be so judgy.
Work on that. Work on that, Ron.
I'm trying to work on that.
I'm judging you for sucking at that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, I totally do, though. And I do think it's an enormous part because a lot of people, especially when they're competing, I've had this conversation with clients when they're dieting. I'm like, hey, this is fun.
Yeah.
Don't forget that while you're chasing this goal. And if it's not fun, stop doing it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but yeah, I thought that was a big groundbreaking moment, and it helped me decide the rest of my career. It's the same reason that, you know, with some of my training, I left it the way it was because I liked doing it.
Yeah.
I told this before, but I remember one day I went to the gym to do shoulders, and my training partner, there was not every day we'd be training partners because of work schedule and stuff. So I showed up at the gym to do shoulders, and my training partner was there to do shoulders with his buddy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, we weren't supposed to be there at the same time, but it just kind of fell into the same time. And
He's cheating on you.
And in my mind, I thought, well, he's with his buddy today, so like I'm not, you know, he doesn't train with this dude all the time, so they're having fun. They'll train. I'll just do my own thing. So he goes, hey, do you want to come and hop on this machine with us? And it was a machine I never used.
Yeah.
And so I said, no, that's okay. I'm going to do these next. And he goes, oh, okay. If you don't ever want to, you know, don't ever want to change. And they walked away and they started using the machine, and I was like, fuck. So I scrapped the workout I had planned, and I went and did the press I never used.
Tore your labrum.
Because he was bigger than me. He's bigger than me. He's a better bodybuilder than me. So if he says that to me, I'm like, oh, fuck. Yeah. So I went and joined them and finished the workout and did movements I wasn't normally going to do.
And you survived, and you learned something from it.
You were probably sore as hell.
Right, it probably was.
You know, had a great workout.
I love those little lines. I did that.
It's okay if you don't ever want to change.
I had that a couple times with like young training partners. They're like, dude, I'm done for the workout today. I'm like, all right, well, second place isn't bad. And I just walk away.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, they're right behind you.
Yeah.
What are we doing, asshole?
Did I ever tell you the story about how Braden and I became training partners?
I don't know.
It's in the episode that I did at his gym for Mutant on a Mission, his home gym.
Okay.
But we had kind of become buddies at the gym. You know, there's those guys you kind of say hi to, and they seem cool, right?
Yeah.
It's like, hey, buddy, you know. And we joked about having I'd be like, yeah, we should do legs one of these days, because he trained pretty hard, and it just never happened. And then one day I showed up, and I saw he was on, like, the extension or something. And so I was like, hey, you want to do legs? And he goes, oh, I'm actually, like, at the end of quads.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I already did pendulum and leg press and, you know, lunges, and I'm doing extensions now. And I was like, that's too bad. And I went over and I started warming up on the hack or something. And he, like, thought about it. And he was like, fuck. And he comes over and he goes, okay, I'm in.
I'm going to do legs again.
And we did hacks, and we did leg press, and we did pendulum, and we went back to the extension. He did 2 quad workouts in a row.
Wow, he was smoked after that.
Animal.
And we have a photo from it. And then he said afterwards, he was like, yeah, that was, I just couldn't, I was wanting to train with you for a while, and I just, fuck, gotta do it. And I thought it was so badass that, like, I was, like, obviously impressed.
Yeah.
That he hung in there. And then we became training partners. And that was like 7 years ago now.
Nice.
That's how it all begins, man.
That's
It's always in the weirdest ways.
Yeah.
You know Ryan Humison that does all the YouTube videos? He was my training partner when he was young. I was young, but he was younger. And he used to come into my supplement store, and he'd buy all the supplements and stuff. And one day I was like, hey, what's your eating like?
Yeah.
He goes, and I'm like, dude, I want to see you eating all the time. I'm like, and I didn't even give him a diet. I was like,
Yeah, you just get tell by the genetics. You're looking at him.
Protein
Right.
all the time.
I'm just looking at him.
And then you
can
fast forward, like the next time he came in, he literally had a chicken breast on a fork when he walked in. And he's asking me questions about his nutrition. And I was like, this kid isn't all there. We might be friends. And so I said, you want to train sometime? He's like, yep. And we hit the gym, you know, like shortly afterwards. And then we trained together for like 2 years straight.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Because he was a complete animal, and you could just set him in motion. And I mean, if he wanted to be, anybody who knows who that is, when you see him, I want you to know that he made the decision to not be a pro bodybuilder because he was much better than I. Like he never caught me, but if he'd have kept going, he would have smoked me.
Yeah.
Way better bodybuilder than me.
So he's smart, is what you're saying.
Yeah, apparently. I think the YouTube's paying a little better than bodybuilding.
Made the decision to not be a pro bodybuilder.
Got one more, guys. Well, actually, we had a movie question too, so I'll ask that after this. Last serious bodybuilding question: what's your opinion on natural bodybuilding, and do you have any favorite natural pros or physiques in general?
Well, I mean, I love bodybuilding. I mean, I don't care if someone's natural. I think it's cool. It's super hard to do.
Yeah.
I mean, especially once you know where all the fun is. Right. You know, it's like, you know, do you want to go back to the range, Scott, with just lever action rifles and revolvers?
Not that super safeties exist now. Now that I have that, we don't want to go backward. Force reset triggers.
You like lever action rifles. They're nice. You like a good 30-30.
Yeah, a lot of respect for them too.
A lot of respect for them. They helped forge the great frontier.
Exactly.
And helped build America.
Exactly.
But you want to play with other toys. Yeah. You want to hack squat 8 plates aside for reps, and you want to okay. So I love natural bodybuilding. I don't know all the natural guys in the world. I remember actually training at the same time as Doug Miller at Dino's one day.
Oh, okay. Doug's an animal.
And like Doug's a great guy. I don't know Doug Miller very well, but I got just like met him a handful of times. He's a freaking awesome dude. But Doug Miller was in a tank top at Dino's like a few years ago in England.
Yeah.
And I remember just staring at his arms. And I was like, oh my God. Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, that's just crazy.
Like he is a strong.
Yeah, and he was strong and just like off the wall. And like, of course, that's just one dude, but I had to mention him because he was very, very impressive. And I've seen lots of impressive natty guys. I've helped a lot of people get natural pro cards. Like, I don't even remember how many because there was a little stretch there where I seemed to have one every year for a while when I lived in Alberta. And they were INBF or WNBF or something. I don't know.
Natural guys can be a lot of fun to work with too. I found that when guys are like committed, like I'm doing this and I'm going to do it naturally, a lot of times, you know, and I'm not saying it's not like guys on gear aren't committed, but at least the guys I've worked with, they're like willing to do whatever it takes, you know?
Yep.
And it's hard for me to say that because it does sound like I'm then dissing somebody else, you know what I mean? But I don't mean it that way. Yeah. But no, it's just that the guys I've worked with that are natural are generally very impressive as far as their work ethic goes.
I remember Greg Doucette. Everyone knows Greg Doucette.
Yeah.
Greg Doucette was a natural bodybuilder for years in Canada, right? Before he got his IFBB pro card. And I remember I did a photo shoot with him once, and his conditioning the year he got his pro card was just like insane.
Yeah.
Like just mind-blowing, ridiculous. Like, oh, fuck, one of those guys. And I said, yeah, you got peeled. I'm like, congrats on how peeled you are for like this ridiculous. And he's like, yeah, you know, I had to get that when I was natty. I had to get that attitude. And I was like, I used to be a competitive swimmer. So like we used to swim, we'd go to the pool and swim for 4 hours. And that was just like our training. Mm-hmm. So for me, getting on a treadmill for 3 hours is nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll do that. And I was like, oh, yeah, you'll do 3 hours of cardio? He goes, oh, yeah, I'll do whatever. I don't care.
Yeah, you only have so many cards to play as a natural guy. You know what I mean?
He's like, as a natty, I would do, if I had to, I would do 3 hours on the treadmill every day for a while.
Right.
And I was like, oh, shit. Yeah, that's like really hard to do because it's like a lot of people, but bodies can't take it and something happens. Like, you know.
Let's not forget, they don't have your recovery either.
Yeah. Like their foot gets bleeding blisters on it, or they fucking.
I have to.
You know
it's
what I mean?
fine.
Like something fails, something on their body fails. Not everyone could do 3 hours of cardio at all, but yeah, he's just that sort of mindset, you know.
Yeah. No, I've always like. So I started. I mean, my coach was a natural bodybuilder when I first like touched my feet. I shouldn't even say coach. The guy that wrote me a diet, and so I really went that route for a while. And I went and saw Skip LaCour a couple times, like do seminars.
Yeah.
And he was awesome, like incredible. Like he helped me a ton. You know, I read his books, the whole thing.
Skip had a great book, didn't he?
Yeah. Yep. Think Big.
Yeah.
Was one of them.
No way.
Two. Yeah, but I probably still have it. But he was fantastic that I knew at the time. And then actually Tommy's training partner, Jacob Delara, I think is his last name. He's the Brinks on Instagram.
Okay.
He just turned pro at Nationals last year, natural.
You're kidding. What division?
And he's, one second, I'll pull it up. Let's see here. I want to say light or middle. I'm not sure.
As a bodybuilder, he's not like men's
open
physique,
bodybuilder.
you know?
No. And so I trained with him once or I think twice now, and the kid is an absolute animal in the gym. Like, he's a guy, like, I even give Tommy crap sometimes because, like, he's failing, so you're, like, spotting him, and he's like, 3 more, and you're like, I don't want to do this for you.
No, I'm doing rows.
But I loved it. Crazy physique. And also, I mean, like, he gets heavy, and he also, because he's a smart kid, I mean, he markets the whole thing, his off seasons. I think he spent like 2 years in an off season before he did last year's shows.
Yeah.
Won everything he did. But I would put him against anyone in the gym, and he'd be fine.
Yeah.
Because think about it, too. Like, when you're training with, Tommy and I, and you're a natural bodybuilder, like, his intensity, he might not be doing the same weight, but his intensity is off the charts.
Yeah.
And he's strong as hell for his size. So I don't know. I think but I have respect for anyone who's willing to train hard and suffer for prep. And I was not shocked at all when he won. I was like, of course you did.
Yeah.
Beat a lot of guys juiced to the gills because he was peeled.
Ron, what's this picture you sent me here?
Oh yeah, I sent you a natty picture just because we were joking about being natty.
All right, give me just a second here.
I did a junior show, just a like local show when I was 17. So I did a little diet for it.
Yeah.
And I think this was like a week out from the show or something, just at the gym.
You look good, man. Check this out.
Good lat spread on me.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, you look good. You still had
That's
that
a
neck.
wacky lat
Look at the
spread.
neck, Dusty. He still had the neck even then.
He and I always had the neck. It wasn't. We both have giant heads it has to support.
See, that's a proper lat spread, gentlemen. The pecs are striated.
Looks good, man.
See? The pecs
Scott.
got to come up and striate in front of you. Your pecs aren't flexed. You're not properly hitting a lat spread.
Yeah.
I sent you a picture, Scott, of Jacob's, Tommy's training partner.
All right.
I'm
When
about
he was at Nationals.
202 pounds there.
You're kidding.
Yeah. 202.
202. And what would you have started at that
I
time?
started dieting at 225.
Okay.
I was in grade 12. And I just
17,
finished
225, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Squatting 4 plates and benching 3 plates, and I just finished my last season of football. And as soon as football was done, I kicked into a diet. So I started at 225 and I competed at like 202.
Okay.
It's awesome.
Man, this guy looks incredible, Dusty.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to highlight him because, I mean, he's awesome. He's just a cool guy, but...
Yeah, this dude looks freaking out of this world. And to think that he's natural, too, man, on top of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what I always love on a good natural bodybuilder is when you can tell they've got a thick tricep.
Oh, his arms
Like, see the
bananas.
back of his arm there? You can
Yeah.
see his triceps are really like, he's got a big, full muscle belly on that
How about
outside
the
horseshoe.
cross-sedation and that far pec?
Yeah,
That's
and
when
then
you're
the far
hitting that
pec
shot
is
right.
just wrapped. Glutes are striated, dug out in the hamstring.
Yeah.
How much does he weigh?
I don't know. I couldn't find it on his Instagram, so I don't know what the
Looks
size
great.
is, but he's
Probably 175 or something.
bananas, you know? And
Who
his
knows?
waist is like, there is no...
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you're like, that doesn't make sense.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah,
He looks
so-
young, too. He looks like he could keep doing this for a long time. And naturally, man, the stress on his body is going to be, so little compared to somebody who had to get so geared up just to get the pro card. Like, yeah, it's out of this world,
Yeah.
man. Now I want to see him take some gear, though, and see what happens.
That's the problem. That's what I thought. I was like, maybe just a little bit.
Yeah, right.
Just give it a drop, man. Just a drop.
I'm working with a kid who's 16, getting ready for his first show right now. And I'll tell you, this kid is, his work ethic, I'll say that it mirrors that of, like, better than some guys that I work with that are in their 30s and 40s. Like, he
Oh, absolutely.
follows a diet 100%, trains 100%. He has his own gym. Like, they have like an outbuilding on their farm. And
awesome.
He's got all this equipment set up in there. And obviously, 16, 17-year-old kid, I assumed his parents just bought it for him. And then he told me that, no, he's cutting lawns in the summer, and he set up a business with his buddy, and they're making like real money off of that every summer. And he paid for all that gym equipment himself.
He's got thousands of dollars gym equipment.
Yeah, he's got like a nice...
His buddy's driving an F450, and he has a gym.
It's like, yeah, I got to finish this high school thing, But the kid's in great shape. In fact, I've got a picture here. It might take me a minute to pull it up here. So obviously, keep in mind, he's never competed before. And I'm sure he would not mind if I share this whatsoever. And he's just got the freaking heart of a lion. So he's...
Oh, that's the guy you sent us the other day.
Yeah, this kid. So he's...
Oh, yeah.
He's very young,
good.
The legs.
I mean, he's got to be the strongest kid in his high school. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
he's also the only one that doesn't have any skin.
Right. So we're going to do it. So NPC, he's not allowed to compete in yet. They changed their rules.
Yeah.
You have to be 18 or older. So we found a show, and it's going to even be out of state.
Give him a fake ID.
Yeah. It is. So him and
Why'd you get a fake ID for a bodybuilding show?
His mom's into it now. I asked her. I was like, what did your mom and dad think about bodybuilding? And he's like, oh, my mom wasn't really into it, but now she gets it, and now she's going to go to the show with him. They're flying out there together, a couple days out,
awesome.
And he's going to compete out of state. So yeah, I'm pumped for him.
Awesome.
He's got, I think, about another 4 weeks from here. So
look how split up his arms are.
Yeah.
I mean, when you can see the separation of the bi and the tri from the front,
right? Yeah,
you're in shape.
Really quick to pick stuff up too. Like when we've worked on posing, and I've told him, all right, you got to turn your feet this way. Like he just does it. You know what I mean? Some people you have to tell them. Oh, I guess it's like a young brain is still like very easy to write new programming in versus old guys like
Don't
us.
ask me to learn anything.
Right.
Awesome. Well, I think we salvaged that, guys.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah, I'm really I'm really disappointed we didn't get the guests we had lined up.
We'll get them.
I really want to get that done because people are gonna love that.
Did you guys ever see a movie Sisu? Is that how you say it? S-I-S-U?
Oh, no, I've been told it's fantastic though.
How about Strange Darling?
No.
Somebody asked us if we had seen those movies, and if so, what do we think?
So Sisu is it's either Finnish or Norwegian, I think.
Okay.
So it's subtitled.
Oh, I can't do that for a whole movie.
It's apparently like an awesome revenge movie.
Oh.
Kind of like hardcore Viking type of guy taking revenge on a bunch of guys that you want to see.
Yeah.
Revenge
handled.
taken on?
Yeah.
Yeah. Supposedly very like immediately action packed, and just like my friend told me, he's like, you have to watch this movie, and I can't commit to the subtitles yet. I can only do a couple subtitled movies a year. So no, I haven't seen Sisu. What's Perfect Darling about?
I don't know. He didn't say. He just was wondering if we had seen it. I'm about to finish Mobland. We slowed down toward the end because it's getting real good. We're like, we only have a couple episodes left, but
I do the opposite. I'm like, we gotta close this shit out tonight.
Yeah, we slow it down a little bit, and then we start watching something else and like get that going, get into that groove, and then overlap. That way, there's no.
I'm glad that we talk about this on the show because a friend of mine, Patrick from Arizona, messaged me and he's like, "Here's 3 other show options for you since I know what you like now."
Yeah.
And we just watched another one that he had recommended, Collateral. It's only 4 episodes, but it was fantastic. So I was like, well, now that you sent me 3, which order do I watch them in? And he did not disappoint.
Okay.
Because, sometimes you can't trust, like we go to Google sometimes or like Rotten Tomatoes to see before watching a show. I'm like, oh, it's got good reviews. And we go watch it. We get like 20 minutes and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Start over. We just wasted 20 minutes. Find another show.
Oh, okay. Collateral. I saw the thumbnail for this, and I was told it was good, but I didn't.
Yeah, it was good. Patrick, thank you. We watched that. Now we're on to the next 2.
So, what a funny thing. We're watching Fargo season 2.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good.
Like the cast is so crazy and like the chaos. Oh my god.
I'm so glad you finally got into this, Ron. I've been waiting.
Oh
for this
yeah.
because I knew.
I'm glad we got hooked. And then the hilarious part was season 2 starts, and there's these 2 twin brothers.
Yes.
Right? And they come on the screen. I'm like, oh my god, they train at my gym.
What?
No.
Yeah.
They literally, they to this day train at your gym.
Yeah.
You're kidding me.
Yeah. Brad and Todd Mann.
Holy crap.
Ron, how
They're
many
actors
people around you that you don't know? I mean,
Yeah, they're actors in the Vancouver scene, and they're identical twins.
Yeah.
And they're like 6'2".
They're
and
so good
like
in this too, aren't they?
broad-shouldered guys. They're big, fit guys, and so they've done all sorts of stuff because they're identical twins. So they get hired for certain things. Like I think they did a project where there was flashbacks. So the one guy had a beard and the other guy didn't have a beard, and they kept it that way for like several months to film this project where they needed a flashback dude and whatever. And I don't know, they do all sorts of things like that. And I remember seeing these photos on their Instagrams of them dressed in those costumes and didn't realize it was Fargo.
Yeah.
And so we're watching, and they come on the screen.
The Kitchen Brothers.
And we're like, the Kitchen Brothers. And we're like, oh my God, it's Brad and Todd from the gym.
Yeah.
Like I see them all the time.
did you tell them?
Yeah.
I haven't seen them yet.
Okay.
So it's been like over a week since I've seen them because they train a little earlier.
Do they train together?
Now he's looking.
Yeah,
they train together?
Yeah, they train together.
Okay.
Train together all the time.
Wow.
They make all kinds of like wild videos at the gym too. They're really great guys.
That is so
They love
cool,
that
man.
gym.
I'm kind of starstruck by that. Like, if they
It's
were
so
at the
funny.
gym, I
can't-
would be starstruck, Ron, to meet them. I'm honest about that.
Imagine if we were in Ron's gym and he didn't know and you did, Scott. You're like,
Oh my God. It was so funny. Like the next time I see them, I'm going to like talk to them about Fargo because it's like so good so far. And they're great in it. They haven't had any lines yet. I don't know if they speak, but they've been good. They've been perfect.
They really are. They play the roles well.
Just, the Kitchen
Brothers.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Kitchen Brothers, yeah. Hilarious to me.
I love all the stories that you have, Ron. When you told us what happened with your client after the Joe episode.
Oh, yeah.
We haven't told that on the air. You have to tell that story. It's
Well,
so
I
good.
have a client. He's a great guy. I've been working with him for a long time. He's a football coach. He does some coaching. He does all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
And he watches the Joe episode, and he messages, and he's like, "Yeah, it was a great episode. Hearing about him. As someone who's legally blind, I really related to some of the stuff he was saying." And I'm thinking, like, I've been helping this guy for like years.
Yeah.
Like, do I remember him mentioning he was blind? And then I'm like, I think I do. Is that ringing a bell?
Yeah.
And I had this like moment where I'm like, I don't think this guy told me he was blind.
I mean, he doesn't need to, I guess.
Anyways, I started messaging with him. I'm like, you never bring that up, dude. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm legally blind. I was born with ocular thing, and it's just, but like, he doesn't wear it on his sleeve like his identity.
Yeah. I thought that was so great, though.
He just never brought it up. Never mentioned it to me.
It never was a problem. It didn't matter. It wasn't important.
And I
could be-
thought,
it would be a
did he
problem for
mention
me.
it to me once?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't. Now in hindsight, I'm like, I don't, because I tried to search our conversation. I even typed the word blind into our WhatsApp and hit search, and it does not come up.
Yeah. Just that last time. Right at the
And I've never canceled. Like I've never wiped our chat. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I don't think this guy meant. It's just amazing. But that tells me something about him too. He's like, yeah, huh? No one needs to know.
Yeah.
Just amazing.
Hey, I was talking to my good friend, Flatland rider Frank Lucas out of Germany.
Ron, you should get to meet him sometime.
Yeah.
So we watched our episode of the Andreas Munzer reaction, and he sent me a message on Instagram. He said, when I was studying sports science, our professor used Andreas Munzer as an example in the human nutrition lecture to illustrate what can happen with excessive protein consumption. I stopped going there after that point.
Frank is such a good dude.
So Frank is one of those guys. He's this. When you meet somebody and you're like, oh, this guy can smell bullshit instantly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're like, it's good to surround yourself with people who can smell bullshit and don't fall for shit, right?
Yeah.
I always respect that a lot. And so, like, Frank would say that. Like, I stopped going after that.
Yeah, I asked him, I was like, well,
like,
did you...
That's a Frank thing.
I was like, did you call your professor out? And he said, No, but since then, I've been questioning the entire education system. A true red pill moment.
Yes, true red pill moment. We've talked. Me and Frank and I have had shared our red pill moments about the world in the last 10 years. That's for sure, and that'd be one of them. Yeah, that's awesome.
Great finisher, Scott. I love it.
Yeah, definitely a red pill moment.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. I had fun on that. Like we said, just remember that we had plans.
Yeah.
They got canceled. I always want to make that up. Like when I let down a girl, I always tell her I had plans.
I'm usually a lot better at this.
They fell through.
It's never happens to me.
Never happens to me. I was supposed to have more support for this. Okay. We scraped together an episode, and thanks to everyone who joined us. I'm trying to see. We missed a bunch in the chats, but it's so nice to see everyone.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, sometimes legally blind means partial. Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
There's that.
I know that.
Yep.
Yeah, but it's still legally blind.
Something you
It's-
still would mention, I would think.
So yeah.
I would.
But would
Okay.
you though, Dusty? If you were like capable in every way, and you were like, "Hey, I want to hire a coach," would you be like, "He
I
doesn't"?
would if the asshole was me and I say something like, "Do you see how when you're doing your row?" And the guy's like, "No, I fucking
don't see anything at all, you
how
idiot."
you're doing the row."
If you look at the pictures, you can see your quads have more separation. I mean, anyone can see it.
Yeah.
Just look at the photos.
I have to share a funny story that's going to kill Nikki. So when she was in college, she's
It's
in
okay. They
college.
all experiment in college.
It's
Dusty.
downpouring rain one day, and there's a girl in our class that's blind, and so she's like, "Hey, how do you get home?" She goes, "I walk." She goes, "Let me give you a ride." And she goes, "Oh, thanks." So she gets in the car and they're driving, and it just starts downpouring, and Nikki goes, "I can't barely drive. I can't see shit." And then she goes, "Oh."
Me either. Yeah, me either. Literally.
Well, just let me out here then.
Might as well let me drive at this point.
Yeah.
She goes, I don't think she cared at all, but I was mortified.
Yeah.
No, that's the type of stuff that they probably don't give. They don't even hear it.
Yeah.
But she
Right.
was just
But
like,
we just-
"Oh."
Yeah.
I mean, think about it. She was in college, and she tells me this story now. That's how much it ruined
She
her
remembers it to this day.
Yeah.
Oh, good
Okay.
stuff.
The horror. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment, and
Ring the bell.
yes, and remember, imutant.com. Go to imutant.com. Dusty or Big Ron are your codes. Save money. Get stuff for cheaper. Right? How the government is inflating your fiat currency by the day. I'll try not to go off on a spiel.
Consider
Save
us
yourself
Bitcoin.
money. Yeah, consider it's like buying Bitcoin because you're saving. You're actually you're
something like that.
You're countering
Your
inflation.
money is worth more with us.
It's
and
a
these
hedge
codes.
for inflation. Shopping at imutant.com. Okay, thanks everybody. Remember the Mind FK. Get your all in. Get your isosurgeon. Everyone should get on the gear. Thanks, guys. Remember, it's just bodybuilding.